Is there an equivalent to the Hadith tradition in any other faith, for example, in Christianity or Judaism?
Yes, in fact, the Christianity, Judaism, and Islam are structurally the same. In the For Judaism, the Old Testament, or the five books of Moses, are considered to be the scripture, and these books were then explained through what's called the oral Torah, or the teachings of Moses transmitted orally, which were then eventually set down in writing, almost 1,000 years later, in what's called the Mishnah, and then the commentaries on the Mishnah or the Talmud. So you have the five books of Moses as their scripture, like the Quran, and you have the oral Torah of Moses transmitted and set down eventually by the rabbis, which is the equivalent of sort of hadiths. And in Christianity, the early Christians, their scripture was the Old Testament. And the thing that explained that their hadiths were the teachings of Jesus, which were then set down, between 60 and 100 years after the birth of Christ.
Like the Gospels?
Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly, structurally speaking, both in Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, you have an original written scripture, and then you have a secondary scripture which is originally transmitted orally and then set down in writing.
So is it correct to assume the Bible itself, the way it's written today as a volume, contains what would be the equivalent of the Quran and the Hadith from our tradition?
Exactly.
Although we have it in separate books.
Exactly.